When I got my Renaissance Fair season pass all the way back in February, I knew right away that one of the videos that I wanted to make with my footage from the fair was a lookbook where I showed off every single outfit that I wore to every weekend of the fair and gave like a pros and cons list and some like advice on how to style yourself. Of course, when I bought that pass, I was thinking I was gonna go like 10, 11, 12 days, and I ended up going 3.5. This is absolutely not a complaint. I'm very happy and privileged that I got to go as many times as I did. And honestly, if I had bought those tickets individually, it would cost just about the same. So I'm really not losing anything. And life happens. I had family obligations, I had work stuff, I had cons, I had concerts. So I'm very fortunate to get as much time as I did there this season. I will probably double that next year. So I am still making that lookbook video. It's just going to be a little shorter than I initially hoped. Before I go through every outfit, I do want to mention that every single component to these outfits are either thrifted, gifted, or from a small business. So not only am I looking like a cute little fairy princess, but I am being a little more sustainable in doing so. And it goes to show, you don't need to buy a new outfit for multiple weekends of a fair. You can shop your closet and you will be just fine. And that's basically what I did to create the outfit for the first weekend. The theme was fairies and fantasy, as it usually is at the PA Fair, so I wanted to be pretty and floral and feminine. I only really wear that floral dress on special occasions, so I'm glad I found an excuse to wear it somewhere else. I really liked the puff sleeves and the fullness of the skirt, and I figured an overskirt would help add more of a Ren Fair typical look. I think it was a little bit thick because I turned the skirt that I owned inside out because I wanted the pure red layer to be showing and not the overlayer which has little black flowers on it, because I felt it clashed a little bit and it was kind of difficult to get into the skirt hike. I do need to mention about that day in particular, it was hot. And to top it all off, at that point, the AC in my car was broken. So I drove down and back with no proper air conditioning, and it was not very comfortable. In retrospect, I probably would have ditched the overskirt and done something a little lighter, like maybe a sash or something underneath that belt, so there could still be layers, but I also wouldn't be heavy and dying. I was smart in getting a fan and a fan holster for my belt because that helped keep me cooler. It was very hard to maintain temperature that day, but just having that at the ready to just fan my face with was such a relief. Such a relief. The fan itself also matched perfectly, and that was completely unintentional. That just came with the holster that I bought, so I figured, yeah, let's build the outfit around that now. I bought that from French Meadows like 5 days before the fair. This video is not sponsored by French Meadows, but there is something I bought from them in literally everything that I wore this season, so highly recommend. The next time I went, the weather was a lot more tolerable because it was about a month later. I pulled out a more masculine look that time. I had the vision in my head and I thought I was going to wear it like with a hat or a bandana for Pirate Weekend, but I couldn't go. So I rearranged it into more of a princely, roguish, handsome type of look instead. I bought the crown there that day and it literally fit my head perfectly first try, so it was fate. I had to be the handsome prince that day. And I also found out that day that there was a booth where you could get your elf ears pierced. It's a little dirty because it fell off of my head while I was filming the footage at the fair, but oh my gosh, it's jingly and cool. I chose the sword charm because it fit the vibe of my original outfit and the stars just looked cute. And of course I had to choose these jump ring colors for obvious reasons. When I put it on my ear, it does fall back a little bit as I move because it's a bit heavy. So I probably will put in lighter charms next time, but it's just adds so much more fantasy to it than just plain elf ears would. And if I don't want to wear them, I can easily just take them out with pliers and then shove them back in. For example, these are the ears that I use for Keyleth, so I would have to take these out and maybe put like leaves or a raven in there. And my ears aren't naturally pierced, so it's fun to have the option to play with earrings without having the commitment of an actual piercing. The other two outfits that I'm showing in this video are less coordinates and more cosplays that happen to fit the Ren Fair. This is also why I said 3.5 and not 4, because this day I literally pulled up for an hour because as soon as I parked my car, it began to rain. I cosplayed Cassia from the Dungeons & Dragons show Stone's Throw Cities Beneath, which I have been following from the beginning, and I really need to catch up on at the time of recording this. So not a recognizable cosplay, but one that was very near and dear to me and I wanted an excuse to wear out. People who have been subscribed to me all year will recognize that skirt as the one that I accidentally made a little too big. But I safety pinned it in the back and tied the lace up, and I also put a belt over it that helped keep it in place, and it didn't cause me any problems all day, and I'm so grateful that I finally found a way for it to work. If I had had more time to prepare, I probably would have made a book that said A Court of Hooves and Kisses and handed out little trinkets, maybe little letters that said that's a myth or something. You won't get any of those references unless you also watch Stone's Throw, but I thought it would be cute, so next time I wear her somewhere, there will be little handouts. And I really had to build on this costume with stuff directly from the fair that I bought that day because of the weather. Literally, as soon as I walked in, I made a beeline for a shop that I knew sold good quality cloaks and bought one and put it over. It matched, and I also thought it was a neutral enough color that if I ever wear it again, it'll fit with a lot of different outfits. It's this nice rusty orange, and it's pure wool, and it's very comfy, and it dried very fast. And I didn't get this in any of the photos or videos I took because I got it right before I left, but I found the cutest little pumpkin belt banner. And it's so pretty. I thought it was fitting not just because of the color scheme, but because Cassia's nickname given by one of the major NPCs is Pumpkin. I believe that this is block printed, the booth Lady Uppy does handprints of all of the designs on their stuff. And I want to find somewhere to hang it permanently just so I can look at it all the time because it's adorable. I don't care if it's not pumpkin season for 8 months out of the year. I want. And the final outfit that I wore on the final day, which many of you have probably already seen, is Laudna from Critical Role. This is the outfit that I wore in my proper vlog for the Renaissance Fair, so you've already seen a lot of her and you know what's going on. I have quickly grown to like this version more than my original cosplay, and I think I might continue to wear it this way rather than the original way, where I just embroidered a button-down shirt, because it just feels more in character to me. Plus, it's a lot more comfortable. I think I hit a bump on the road somewhere that made my little hammer hairpiece break that I have to fix. But people still got that I was Laudna. I received a lot of shout-outs in lines and compliments and trinkets, and I was very happy that there was such a big critter presence at the fair. Many a fun encounter as Laudna. Lots of fans, lots of the vendors knew. I got to sit in the gravedigger's coffin, which was very on brand. I had been wanting to do that all day. I didn't bring this up in the vlog because it was a very quick thing, but I also met Erika Ishii, which is crazy. Ideally, this version of Laudna will be appearing many more times next year. Even though that is it for the outfits, I had a nice, diverse array of looks for this season, and I think I spread them out nicely. I was very comfortable. There weren't a lot of mistakes that I will be correcting next season. Oh, that first one was so warm. Moral of the story is, you can do so many different things with Ren Faire fashion, and you don't have to look very hard to find a specific aesthetic or character that you want to portray. You can literally shop your closet, shop a thrift store, ask people around you, and look into specific small businesses instead of having to rely on Amazon or Shein. And of course, never forget the power of making stuff yourself. If the stars align, I would like to wear pretty much all of these again at the fair next season, as well as debut some new looks, one of which you might be seeing sooner than later. Wink, wonk, subscribe. And since my neighbor is yelling over whatever he's yelling about, I'm going to stop the video here, ask you to interact and press all the buttons, and go daydream about the next time I will step into a little fantasy world. Goodbye.